What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Barba223, and we are back again with another video. So today, guys, as you guys may know, some of you that have been subbed to me for a little while, I do a class tier list every time there's a new chapter or patch or update, whatever you want to call it, in ESO. And this is because, well, things change. Especially right now, this game is all over the place and it's starting to settle down a bit. It was a really bad state. They had a proc test, they had a no proc test, they had this, that, and the other, right? And now everything's back to normal, I guess you could say. So basically what I'm going to do here is just another tier list. It is a little bit more detailed than my other tier list because before I had S, A, B, C, D, but now we have all the pluses and minuses, just to make sure we cover all bases and just to make it a little bit more detailed. So as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and show love to the channel. We're at 600 subs, guys, and I guess let's just keep pushing the numbers up, I really appreciate all the support. I really do. I've been having a lot of fun on ESO lately. This update I was worried about, and it actually has turned out to be pretty good. So yes, this is for the Blackwood update. And yeah, let's just get into it. Just to let you know before we even get started, these are all the classes here. So of course the ones that have color are the magic classes. So like Magicka DK, Magicka Templar, Mag Sorcerer. This is Stam Nightblade, Magicka Nightblade, Stam Necro, Magicka Warden, Stamina Warden, Magicka Dragonknight, Magicka Templar, and Magicka Sorcerer. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna randomly select one from the bottom, and I'm gonna give my opinion on it. Whatever tier it is, and tell you why I think that. So let's just do it. Without any further ado, let's just get into it. So, first we will start with, you know what? Let's start with, we will start with Magicka DK. Now, guys, I think Magicka DK is just bleh right now. They are just, well, first of all, magic classes, as you guys know, are just not as good as Stam classes. So, like, that's not good. But on top of that, Magicka DK is just, I don't know. It's just like the broke man's version of Stamina DK. Like, Stam DK is so much better. The reason Magicka DK is trash is because, first of all, their skills are so freaking expensive that they have to put things into reduced cost, I think, in my opinion, which has to be either light armor or reduced cost glyphs that make you lack in other areas. Like, that doesn't help anything. And another problem with it is that they just don't do enough damage. Like, don't get me wrong, the Ferocious Leap is pretty good and all, but that's cool. And Molten Whip, if you use that type of play style, yeah, that can be solid, I guess, but I don't know. I just don't think Magicka DK is great. And this is coming from somebody that has mained a Magicka DK for a long time, and I'm starting to transition out of that because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but Magicka DK just isn't my thing anymore. I don't know. I always liked them. As you guys probably know, they're really good in team play. They have a lot of team buffs. They have, for if you run a Harmony build, playing with a DK can be good for Talons. But I don't know, guys. Their healing's solid, I guess, but they're slow, and they just seem to lack sustain so badly to where, like, it's really hard to play outnumbered, especially. 1v1, they're a great class, but I think in the grand scheme of PvP, like, they're just not that great. And even more is that I don't even see them ever. Like, I play BGs and I see a lot, and I never see Magicka DKs, so unfortunately that's the case. It is what it is, But yeah, that's my opinion on Magicka DK. If you disagree, I understand. Of course, this list is going to be biased for most people because they're going to say my class is the best, and that's fine because, I'm happy for everyone that plays the best class that they that they play with. So, but for me, Magicka DK is just middle of the pack, not great, So anyways, let's just keep it going. So next we're going to do Stam Necro just because. So Stam Necro for me, I'm going to say they're A-, anywhere in the A range. Now, number one, Stamina is better than Magic, in my opinion, obviously. Now, on top of that, I think Stam Necro is a great class because, well, they have access to Major Defile, at all times. So that is just like that in itself is amazing. It's just incredible. Now, what also is really good about them is they pretty much can access every buff in the game. For example, they can act like with Spirit Guardian, they can literally have major protection at all times. I mean, come on, how often can you say that for a class? That might be the only one, right, that has access to major protection whenever they want. So having that is such a valuable skill, and on top of that, the sustain on a Stam Necro is just out of this world because first of all, Mortal Coil, which is a crazy dot heal over time, it's free. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it has a 28-meter range. Number three, it restores stamina. So on a stamina build, you're having one of your best dot heals in the game that are free, far range, last for 12 seconds, and it restores stamina. So you're gaining resources from using a free skill. That skill is so good, and when you pair that with vigor, you're literally unkillable. Like it's so powerful. So that's why I think Stam Necro is so good. Of course, you can use Dawnbreaker and pair that with your like you pair that with a blast bone, you're probably going to kill someone. So really nice, and you can even run a spin to win build, which is fun because dual wield's really good right now. I assume most of you know that. So running a spin to win build and a necro is pretty fun as well, and it's just really annoying fighting one of these because they just are so tanky. Like if you're healed over time or going as a necro and like you're just not going to take a lot of damage. Their damage mitigation is just crazy. It's just crazy. So, yeah, that's really nice. So I think Stam Necro is nice. Blast Bones it's a way better. It's what I said about DK. How Magic DK is the broke man Stam DK. I think that Magic Necro is the broke version of Stamina Necro. Like it's just better. So having access to every buff in the game, it's just pretty much every buff in the game. I mean, come on now, they're crazy good. So yeah, I believe this is one of the best in the game. I think at one point it was the best in the game, but I think a little bit things have changed just a little bit because they don't really die from them anymore. Like the one thing I noticed about Stam Necro is that I can block their blast bones pretty much every time with no issue. You see the blast bones coming, you just tap your block button and you're good, and you kind of absorb their burst. So yeah, that's how I feel about Stamina Necro. They're very good. It's that simple. They're one of the best. So, anyways, we will move on. So next, I guess we'll go with another stamina class, just because. So we'll jump right into we're gonna jump into Stam Sorc, guys. So Stam Sorc, I don't think there's enough I could say about this class. I hate them. That's number one. That's all I have to say about them. We'll move on. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, I really do. They're so annoying to fight. Now, as most of you know, I assume a lot of you know, is Stam Sorc is a very high ceiling in terms of skill. So if you play as a Stam Sorc, first of all, if you run the typical build like Ashen Grip, Vate Strands, two hand, and then dual wield with Spin to Win, and Crystal Weapon is your spammable, you're going to be pretty good at the game. I think my blind and deaf and dead grandmom could probably play a Stam Sorc and be pretty good at the game. Just because I think their combo is so easy, and it's not only easy, but it's one of the hardest hitting in the game. You can literally use Crystal Weapon, heavy attack, into a spin to win, whatever, and kill someone. And the reason they're so good is because they're the only class in the game. Same thing with Magic Sorc, though. So Sorcerer overall is the only class in the game that can build completely into damage and still survive because their heals will be so strong because you have unlimited sustain when you have Dark Deal. So being able to have unlimited sustain, and that's paired with Streak, so like no other class can move just like them, and they have Expedition all the time. So being able to move like that, like if you're built, like let's say for example, if I'm playing a Magic DK and I build completely into damage, I'm gonna get melted because I won't be able to survive. Why? Because no resistances, not enough mobility, right? Now with Stam Sorc, it's the complete opposite. You can build completely into damage. You can use Ashen Grip with Clever Alchemist, or any monster set that you want to use. Really, Selene, Bloodspawn, you name it, Balorg, whatever you want. And if you just throw this on, and pretty much, I can sum up Stam Sorc in a nutshell. Ready? Run in, Crystal weapon, heavy attack, whirlwind. If you don't die, streak away, repeat. That's it. Now, that's not hating on Stamp Sword, because like that's the way the class is played. I just think it's a bit overtuned because I don't know. I think there needs to be more of a downfall to what they do. I think it's a bit too easy, especially with Dark Deal being just literally unlimited sustain. I know you Stamp Sworks out there are going to want to fight me. Don't fight me about it. I'm sorry. Do not beat me up. I promise. I'm not hating. I'm just saying the reality. Stamp Sorg is so annoying and cheesy. I'm sorry. That's true. But Stamp Sorg is incredible. Dark Deal, Vigor, Streak, all that. It's so good. And running a spin to win build is probably one of the most annoying things to verse. And if you play BGs, you see that usually if there's a Stamp Sorg in the lobby, they're going to be top of the leaderboard just because they hit so dang hard. So I think, honestly, Stamp Sorg could very well be number one and the king of PvP. So, yeah. Let's move on. Whatever you guys got to say about it, I apologize. Don't get upset, but I think I'm right on this one. I mean, of course, everyone has a valid opinion, but I think Stamp Sorg is the king right now. And that's probably, I think that's very fair to say. So, yeah, there's Stamp Sorg for you. We'll move on to the next one, though. So, I guess we'll go into... we'll do Magicka Templar. So, I think Magicka Templar is just another one of those classes where... Oh yeah, I wanted to mention too, for Stamp Sorg, they thrive in any setting. So Cyrodiil, obviously, they are so fast that they can move throughout Cyrodiil. And they're probably the best 1vx build, in my opinion, just because of the mobility and able to just melt people in a second. So that's what I did want to mention about Stamp Sorg before I moved on. But yeah, we'll move on. So Magicka Templar. If you guys saw my last tier list, I had them a lot lower before, and I apologize for that, number one. They may even be better than this, but I'm going to put them A-. Now, the reason I say A- is because they don't have great mobility. If you want to have mobility, you're either going to have to use Race Against Time, which I'm still not even a fan of myself, which, I mean, it's good, but I'm just not a fan of. And you're going to have to use Misform. You're going to use one of those, right? Now, Misform's solid as well. It makes you very, very hard to kill. But Templar is one of those classes where, like, if you're new to the game and you jump on a Magicka Templar, you can help, regardless of how bad you are at the game. And the reason that is because if you have Cleansing Ritual, your team is going to be just loving you so much. I love getting on a team on a BG or running around Imperial City with a Magicka Templar because their heals and able to cleanse their entire squad is so valuable. Like, oh, it's so good. They have a great off heals. They're great solo players because they have a crazy healing. And, I was going to mention that Rune Focus, which is their armor buff. It used to be really good for standing your ground because before Blackwood, when you stood in your rune, it would give you 50% extra resistances on top of your resolve. But now they changed that, of course. It pretty much just gives you extra healing done. Like, you heal when you're inside the rune, which I think that kind of sucks. Because, like, having that 50% extra resistance for standing your ground, which that's what Templar is, it's a stand your ground type build, they kind of just wrecked them for that. But I still think Magicka Templar is really good. Now, the reason they're also really good is because they have Radiant Destruction. Radiant Destruction, let me sum it up for you. If I'm a noob, and I'm trash at the game, and I'm in a fight, big outnumbered fight, whatever, bunch of people, right? It has a crazy range. So basically, if I just stand in the back and spam Radiant Destruction over and over, I will kill people. It's so easy. You just look for someone that's half health, use Radiant Destruction, your team hits them a couple times, you do the rest. It's very nice in that way because you could just help your team out in just a bunch of different ways. You also give your team Minor Sorcery. That's another great thing. So having Minor Sorcery is something that I don't think any other class even has, being able to access Minor Sorcery. That's really nice as well. So, yeah, I think they're a great class. They have reduced cost as well, so it's kind of like having an Imperial passive built into your class. So if you pair that with Imperial, you have a lot of cheap skills. Very, very nice. So, and of course, Puncturing Sweep is one of the best spammables in the entire game. So very good class. Being able to cleanse on demand is a beautiful thing. And for a while I struggled on Magicka Templar, but I didn't realize that you just have to keep pressuring people. That's it. Great class. It's just such a good class. Solo, group, BGs, Imperial City, Cyrodiil, anywhere. It's just a good class to have. I think every team has a Templar. So overall, really good. I think they are better than Stamina Templar, definitely. So yeah, that's how I feel about Magic Templar. Let me know what you guys also think down below. But they are very, very good, I think. So, oh yeah, and also, um, I think they're one of the now in this update, they're one of the Magic classes that can utilize using two-handed. So I think that's really nice as well. And they have a nice CC with javelin or the gap closer punk whatever the javelin move is. But yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, we'll move on. So I'm gonna go with Stam DK here at A minus. So I'm very neutral on Stam DK right now, to be honest, guys. The issue for me is that I don't know, like lately I haven't been loving them, but I will say this: having access to Major Mending all the time with Igneous Shield makes this build worth it in itself. Being a Stam DK is a lot of fun too because doing dot damage is just, I don't know, that was always the way I enjoyed playing, just having a dot build. And for me, Stam DK is the class that can really turn the fight a lot like many other classes can't. So like they can be on the defensive and healing and staying alive, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, they turn around, they hit you with a take flight, and you're dead. Like that's what I think is so nice about them. It's very nice. They are just better than Magic DK in my opinion. I mean, they're better in every way. And number one is because stamina hits harder. But there's one thing I'm begging Zos to do is give us a stamina morph of whip. Please give us a stamina poison whip. That would be sweet. Anyways, I know that's just dreaming and it's just a pipe dream, but it's something I want. But the point is, Stam DK is a class that is very good in a group because they can heal with Cauterize, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And on top of that, they can do a lot of damage, withstand a lot of damage, and Take Flight is that one of the best ultimates in the game. First of all, it's so buggy that like sometimes it glitches and it hits you, you get stunned for like 20 seconds and the damage is delayed. So like that's a good thing, I guess, for Stam DK. Not a good thing for everyone else, but yeah, they're really fun to play with. I always enjoyed playing a spin to win build with a Stam DK. You run Fossilize and you just spin, spin, spin. I always enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, there's that. But Stam DK is a good one. I thought they were better last patch. I don't know. Like lately, when I fight a Stam DK, I kind of just sit there. I don't really have an issue with it. But I mean, I don't know. It's just it's good. They're very good. They're better than most Magic classes, but they're not better. They're like mid-tier Stam for me. But they are solid, so you know I don't really have an issue beating Stam DKs. But I know that I've seen 1vx's, and I know they're really good in a group because they can just they're just very solo oriented. They don't have to have someone else with them. They can just withstand a lot of damage as it is, and Venomous Claw is great, and having access to a major breach with Noxious Breath is another great thing. And not only is it a major breach, but it's an AoE version of a major breach, so you can debuff a big group of people. So I mean that's incredible too. And on top of that, they have access to Minor Brutality, so they can get extra weapon damage that other classes can't. So I think that's really nice too. Um, it's a solid thing. It's nice too that you can use your Igneous Shield to restore stamina. That's a passive that you get, and of course the Battle Roar that is going to give you resources back for using your ultimate, and it's very good class. I think they're A minus. They even might be B plus. I don't know. I think them and like Magic Templar are pretty similar in my opinion, so like that's why I kind of put them together. But yeah, I don't know. So we will move on. What we're gonna do now is Magic Necro. So Magic Necro for me is just like it's in a weird spot. So I'm gonna put them B, and I know I'm gonna get hate for this. Don't take it the wrong way, but guys, I play a Magic Necro, and like I've been maining Magic Necro for a while now. I wouldn't say maining them, but like I've been playing them for a minute, and to be honest, like I don't know. Lately, I've been really struggling with them. I don't know what the issue is. Not really struggling. Like I stay alive, and they're very tanky. But like it's like a struggle to kill people because the burst is so delayed that like by the time your blast bones wants to work correctly, they're already healed back to full. So like I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like it's kind of I don't know. It's like that's why I say it's the broke man stam necro, because I swear the magic necro version of Blast Bones is so trash compared to the stamina one. I don't know if it's just dumber, but like I could probably use my Blast Bones, go to the bathroom, drink a cup of coffee, and eat dinner before it even hits somebody. Like that's how annoying it is. So like when you're trying to line up a burst combo, yes, it hits like a truck, but it also doesn't work correctly. Like I could run a marathon before my blast bone hits someone. You know, like I could run a mile probably. Like it's crazy how ridiculous it is. I mean, granted they did change it to where the longer it takes to hit, the more damage it does, but I don't care about that. I want my skills to work when I say they work. You know what I mean? So it doesn't help that it also sometimes doesn't even register for me. Like I'll hit somebody, it doesn't register. But aside from that, aside from the complaining, it is a very good class. Like I honestly might just move them to B plus because they are a good class. But I can't justify putting them closer to Stam Necro. They are good in group play because not only do they have a cleanse for themselves, but if you use there's another skill you can use like a ground heal. That is a team cleanse, so that's another thing you could use as well. Very very nice for your team. And on top of that, using a harmony build is so much fun on a Magic Necro. That's probably where it shines the most, is using a harmony build with a Grave Robber, because that's the problem with Necro, was like the burst combo is a little bit iffy, you know what I mean? So being able to drop a Colossus into a Grave Robber or even a Dawnbreaker, like you will melt people. So if you can line it up, and I have done it, like it's one of my more viewed videos. I have a Harmony Magic Necro build on my channel, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, you might want to check that out for yourself. But the point is, it's very very good. I think if you're talking just Harmony, they're A. Um, that's the thing I like about them, is that like they are versatile, because you can be a healer, you could be a solo, you could be a harmony build, you could be a straight up build. I like that about them, so that's something I really really enjoy. Is that Magic Necro is a very good straight up class. And by straight up, I mean like you could just make a build, be a ranged mage, and just play the game. So very similar to Stam Necro in the way that they have access to every buff. They have access to major protection at all the time. They have Mortal Coil, that's going to be a crazy good heal. If you stack that with Spirit Guardian, stacked with Rapid Regen, you're going to be very, very difficult to kill. So that's very nice. And another thing that's pretty cool about Necro is if you use Summoner, not Summoner's Armor, but Beckoning Armor, you have kind of a gap closer and a CC in one skill. So that's pretty cool as well. It can really piss off snipe spammers, so that's good. But I don't know, Magic Necro is a weird class for me right now. It is a good class though. Some people say it's broken because of Goliath. I disagree. That is one thing I will say about Stam Necros. If you use a Goliath, like if you make a build called the Bash Necro, shout out to Nice ESO, he made a build about that. You can make a Bash Necromancer. You just pretty much tank it out till you get your Goliath. You go into your Goliath. You bring out your one-handed shield and you bash everyone to death. It's pretty cheesy, but it's a cool build. But yeah, it's a good class. It's still above average, I think. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Um, I do think they're B plus ish, B plus, whatever you want to do, but they're good in team play. If you're talking about healing and support, they might be A plus for real. But if you're just talking about like regular PvP, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I think they need some more love because they don't have a good CC. What are you going to use? Grave Grasp? No, that skill is trash. You're not using that. You're going to either use Destructive Clench or like Mesmerize, something like that, but like, or even Beckoning Armor, but you're not going to use the CC that they provide for you within the class. That's what's so trash about them. So, and I also think they need to fix Blast Bones to be more reliable. Even if they just lower the damage and make it work better, I'm fine with that. I don't even care. I just want it to work properly instead of sitting there, me and my Blast Bones are sitting there cuddling in the corner waiting for him to hit them. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So that's how I feel about Magic Necro. I do like it though. It's very tanky, so that's something I like, is I can just sit there and eat damage from a bunch of people, so that's pretty cool. And it's one of the only classes I feel like you can wear light armor with and be tanky, because they have so much damage mitigation and straight up health and resistances and recovery. So it is a good class though. So I'm not going to keep going into detail about them. Lately I've been having more complaints than positives about them. So that's how I feel right now. But I'm going to stick at a B plus because I do think they are good. They're a solid all-around class. So next, I'm going to go with Stamina Templar. So I'm in another weird spot with Stamina Templar too right now. The main reason I'm in this weird spot is because I think there's something that goes on with Stamina Templar for me. Number one is you either hit hard as hell and you can't stay alive, or you don't do enough damage and you're really tanky. That's how I feel about Stamina Templar. Whenever I play it, I'm like, alright, cool, no one's killing me, but I'm not killing anyone either. And then I feel the opposite effect is like sometimes I can melt people, but I also can just get melted. So it's a weird spot for me because like most classes I feel like can balance it a bit better. But for me personally, I really struggle on a Stamina Templar. It's just not my good class. It's just reality. Um, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a great Stamina Templar player because I'm not. I'm okay. I'm pretty. I'm not bad at any class. But my point being is that I feel like there's always something missing with Stam Templar, and of course, just saying the same as Magic Templar. The what's the skill where you put the light above their head? I can't think right now. Purifying light, I think is what it's called, or power of the light rather. That skill, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't hit hard for me. It doesn't do enough. I don't know. So let me know how you feel. Of course, biting jabs is freaking god mood spammable, and it gives you major prophecy while you're at it. And on top of that, stamina class that has a cleanse, that has reduced cost, that has major or minor mending when you're in your healing area. I mean, that really helps the class out a lot. But for me personally, I don't know. The one thing I will say is if you're playing in a group and you have multiple people playing as a Stamina Templar, it's not going to be very fun for the other team because you are going to destroy people. If you're both hitting people with a biting jabs, they're going to get destroyed. If one of you has power of the light, they're going to get destroyed. So I think that's really nice as well. If you run a group of Templars, they're really tough to deal with. So that's another thing about them, though, is that they're not very mobile. But if you run 5 medium and or not even 5, you can use 5 medium and use evasion or whatever that skill is called, elude. I forget what shuffle, whatever it's called. That can give you major expedition, or you could just use a bow on your back bar and get major expedition from that when you roll. So I think that's really nice too, which is another reason why Stam is just better than Magic, because it's just access to major expedition for having a weapon. So I don't know how I feel about Stam Templar. There was a point in time where I thought they were way better than Magic Templar, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think Magic is better in pretty much every way for Templar, and that's probably the only case where I feel like this with any of the classes really. So yeah, that's how I feel about Stam Templar. They're really nice if you can line up your burst. So if you hit somebody with let's say, I don't know, you could use dual wield if you want. That's another thing too. You can use dual wield on a Templar. You get your Master Swords out. You hit them with the bleed move, dual slashes. You hit them with your biting jabs. You hit them with a Dawnbreaker, with your reduced cost Dawnbreaker, which is good. You might melt somebody. So I mean, Stam Templar is good. I want to play Stam Templar and get better at it, but honestly, guys, I just suck. That's how I feel. I'm like, I don't know what I do wrong on a Stamina Templar, but if you guys want to help me out in the chat, I don't know. I just struggle so bad on a Stam Templar, but I'll give it another try. But anyways, that's not the point. That's how I feel about them. So I guess we could just move on to the next class. I just think they're a little bit worse than Magic Templar. But it is nice to be able to give your team a cleanse as a stamina class. I think that's something that is very unique about the class. So that really helps out. It's very nice, very, very nice. And it's definitely a really fun class. So I will say that. The fun rating is through the roof on a Stamina Templar. So we'll move on though. So next we'll do a Magic class. I guess what we'll get into now is the Big Daddy class, which is Stamina or Magic Warden or Magic Sorc. I'm dumb. Magic Sorc is definitely an S class. What a surprise that Sorcerer is the overall best class for me. Not really a surprise at all. I think they've been the top class pretty much since launch. Like, let's be real. So anyways, the point is, Magic Sorc is very freaking good. Now, why are they so good? Well, because they can hit like a truck, they can be tanky, they can be mobile, they can heal, they can literally do everything. Yes, they can heal, if whether you believe it or not. They are so well-rounded. They can sit in the back, heal with their Twilight, they can stack 17 shields, They can burst you in a second. They have the best finisher in the game that procs literally by itself. Imagine your finisher literally procs by itself. They have streak, so if I'm playing as literally any up close class, I hit them, you know what they're doing? They're running away, they're hitting their shields, and they're not going to die. It's that simple. Crit Surge is another thing about both of these classes now. You can run Magicka on a Stork and be able to use Crit Surge still. That's what's crazy about it, is if you play on a Stork, because when Magicka wasn't, you couldn't crit with Magicka before. Now that you can literally run Crit Surge on a Sork, which is crazy, and still be able to get Magicka, so that's what's really, really nice about it as well. Because Crit Surge is one of the best in the game, in my opinion. You get major sorcery and heals from it. How good is that? That's really good. So, yeah, it's very interesting. But the point is, I think Magic Sork is crazy because Crystal Frags, it can proc itself. And if you overload power, what is the overload light attack, I believe, is very broken. It desyncs, so there's literally nothing better than when I'm running. I'm just running around and I get hit with one, but all of a sudden I just drop dead, and then my tooltip says I got hit with it 10 times. I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. That's really fun, guys. But the point is, Magic Sork is very good in every asset of PvP. They're one of the kings of 1vxing. They might be the best 1vx class because, first of all, they have so much damage mitigation with their shields, so they're essentially getting free healing. And by free healing, I mean if your shields aren't up, then your heals are going to be directly combated with the damage you take. But if you have your rapid regen up and you have a shield up, the shield is covering up your health bar, hence why I say you're getting free healing while the shield is up. That's basically what I mean by that. So I hope you get it. I'm not trying to confuse anybody, but that's what I mean by that. So it also is very, it's a combo, it's a class that has a combo that is a one burst type of combo. It's literally the same thing as Stamsork in that way, is that they're both like I can kill you in one hit, but if I don't, I'm gonna back up and reset and do it again. That's pretty much, it's that easy. They're a very fun class to play as well because you can streak and just destroy people. Honestly, guys, me talking about this Magic Sork, I want to make a Magic Sork. I swear to God. So I might even go make one just because I'm talking about it and it sounds like a good time, because they're really, really good. But yeah, Magic Sork is great. They can just do it all. They have minor, I think you have minor expedition from your Boundless Storm, and if you run a pet build, I hate you. Just kidding, I don't hate you, but they're annoying. They're so annoying to go up against, so I don't know. Let me know what you think, though. I think Magic Sork might be the king of PvP, along with Stamina Sork. Those two are just, like, if you get into a lobby and you see a Sork, I'm like, alright, I gotta go. I'm not trying to be here. But they're really good. Just good in every way. Solo group. It's a nice class to where you can, it's very versatile. You can do whatever you want with it. You can make a heavy attack build. You can make just a solo, I'm going to kill you in 2 seconds build, basically a glass cannon. Or you can be very, very tanky and use Daedric Mines to kite people around things. So, yeah, it's a very fun class. I might even test one out myself and do a little something with it. So, yeah, I think Magic Sork is, honestly, it was not as good before. I think 2 patches ago, what was the last patch? Flames of Ambition, they were very good again. But before that, I can't remember what the update was called now. I'm blanking. But anyways, the point is, I think they were a little bit worse when proc sets were very, very overpowered. Because as much as I thought this update was going to make proc sets ridiculous, it really hasn't. So I'm happy about that at least. I don't think proc sets are that bad because you really do have to spec into it a little bit. So, like, I don't mind it. I feel like I can use, like, very regular sets like Spinners and Amberplasm and still succeed. So that makes me happy that I can use whatever I want and not have to run procs, because I really don't. I use Master Stabs a lot, but so that's something I like too. But yeah, the Magic Sork, I like to call it, me and my friends like to call it the Magic Sork combo. It's just like it's just the Magic Sork special, you know. You get hit with the finisher, Mage's Fury into the Crystal Frags and the Streak, and you might be done. But yeah, we'll move on. So we're going to do Stamina Nightblade. So I think they're going to be here. So Stamina Nightblade is, again, one of those classes where it's just good. you can literally melt people out of stealth in one hit, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, it's just better than Magicka Nightblade. Just being real, it's better than Magicka Nightblade in pretty much every way. They have rally, so they have a nice burst heal, which is another thing that Magicka Nightblade really doesn't have. Sorry about that, my mic cut out for a second. But they also pretty much can just destroy people in about half a second. So that's kind of insane. What else can they do? I don't know. They can also stay alive because they can build into damage, but at the same time, they have so much mobility to where they can just go invisible and use their shade and get out of pretty much any situation. I mean, how annoying is it when you're fighting someone and then you know what you get hit with? Well, someone pops out of stealth, they hit you with an incap, they hit you with a spectral bow, and you know what? You're dead. So that's very good. And on top of that, they're one of the best 1vx classes. Last patch, I had them at S tier. I don't know, guys. I feel a little bit differently now. I think they're not quite as good. They are still insanely good because they can use Hunter's Venom and still hit like a truck because they can really get over that threshold a lot easier. And that's another reason why Stam classes are a lot better because it's a lot easier to get that threshold of weapon damage for the tooltip. So that's how I feel. But the point being is Stamina Nightblade is very good. And they hit like a truck, and they're a lot of fun to play. As long as you're not a snipe spammer. Can't stand those freaking snipe spammers. I feel like that's all PvP is anymore, is a bunch of freaking come out of stealth, press one button. But that's not my point. My point is Stam Nightblades are good. And they could be anywhere between A plus, and S. That's what I feel. And the reason I feel this way is because they are very high ceiling. You know how earlier in the video, I know it was a while ago. I'm sorry I'm taking forever, but I want to give good opinions here. But compared to Stam Sorc, they're really high ceilings. So like, if you're good at the game, you're going to be really good at these two classes. You know what I mean? If you're bad at the game, you're not going to like it. That's how I feel. Because like, then for example, I'll give the opposite effect. Like if you're new to PvP and you suck, if you play Magicka Templar, you might enjoy the game. If you play Magicka Necro, you might enjoy the game. You know what I'm saying? Like those classes are pretty beginner classes because the combinations, the rotations, the movements, the kiting, it's very easy. It's not that hard. But on something like a Stam Sorc or a Stam Nightblade, you got to be mobile. You got to be really quick. You got to think quickly. You got to react like it's like, you know, snap of a finger. So that's why I think they're so good. But yeah, that's how I feel about Stam Nightblade. Let me know what you think down below, guys, please. I appreciate it. But next, we're going to do Stamina Warden. Now, Stamina Warden, in my opinion, was the best class in the game for a long time, up until now. Now, the reason my opinion has changed is for one reason and one reason only. Arctic Blast has got nerfed, which makes me so sad, because I play Magicka Warden. So, although I think it is a much needed nerf, especially for Stam Warden, because it's not fair that Stam Warden had a health-based heal. People would just stack 30, 35k health and get a 10k, 15k heal for nothing. But my point is that they have access to every buff in the game. So number one, they're automatically one of the best solo classes. They also have a cleanse with their minor brutality or major brutality buff. So this skill not only gives minor or major brutality, it gives stamina recovery. It also gives a cleanse. It also gives extra damage done based on the passives from that tree. So it's the reason why Warden is so darn good is because they have skills that are so stacked. For example, for Magicka Warden, I'll tell you about Magicka Warden when we get there. But for Stam Warden, like I said, they have the Betty Netch, dude. I can't talk right now. It cleanses, it heals, it does so many different things for you, so that's really nice as well. On top of that, Wardens have crazy maneuverability because they have Bird of Prey, which also gives Modern Berserk. So it's just the things that I'm saying is because they have so many different buffs and so many different like features to their skill set. Like they can do whatever. And on top of that, their stamina class that has a healing ultimate. So they have Enchanted Forest that can literally just heal them on demand. It costs like 70. That's like a free skill. What the heck is that? So that's really nice as well. They also can just burst people in an instant because if you use Subterranean Assault, You put that down. Not only does it use it twice, but you can hit Wrecking Blow. The first one hits, you can stun them. The second one's about to hit. You hit a Dawnbreaker, you hit a finisher, and you might get a kill just out of that. Also, on top of that, they have Leeching Vines, which is a skill that is literally so overpowered in this update. They need to nerf it, I think. It makes you heal so well to the point where like it's stupid. The lifesteal, because not only does it give a dot heal, but it also gives minor lifesteal, and minor lifesteal it doesn't seem to have a limit as to who it affects. So like you can hit multiple people with it at once, which is insane. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, yeah, it's really overpowered. But Stam Warden is just so good all around. They're tanky. They can absorb projectiles with crystallized shields, so that also really helps the situation. So although Arctic Blast did get nerfed by a hefty amount, it's still powerful, and it's a nice CC. And it has Stam Warden is just so well rounded. I'm sure you guys know this by now. It's just one of those classes where like you play it and it's just like easy mode. Like it's just so good. But the point is, they are one of the best, and I think they just had a little bit of a fall off in this update. But you know what? It is what it is. So we'll move on. So we have two left. We have Magicka Nightblade. I gotta be honest, I don't have much to say about Magicka Nightblade, guys. It just seems like it's not that good. I don't know. I know some of you Magicka Nightblades out there are really good at the game, and you perform with it. But dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's just not that good for me right now. It's like, I mean, bombers are fun. That's a really nice class you can play. But besides that, where does it go? I mean, you can't play the whole play straight up, play a ranged mage type of build unless you're staying tanky. So that's what's really annoying about it is Stam Nightblade has the ability to be full damage, I feel like, and just get away a lot easier. But like Magicka Nightblade, I don't know, they seem to lack something. Like they just don't have that it factor. They hit hard, but it just seems like a not great class. Like every time I verse a Magicka Nightblade, you know what happens? I destroy them. Now, whether that means the player base on Magicka Nightblade just isn't good at the game, because most good players know I don't want to play as a Magicka Nightblade, or they're just not a good class, and every other class destroys them. I feel like taking people out of stealth is a little bit too easy right now, so maybe that needs to be adjusted a little bit. I don't know, but Magicka Nightblade just doesn't feel good. I don't know, it just seems not that enjoyable. It feels to me like the worst class in the game. If you don't agree, I totally understand, because some people are really good on Magicka Nightblade, so don't take it the wrong way. Any of you out there that play Magicka Nightblade, I just don't have a strong feeling about them. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. So let me know what you guys think down below, please. And yeah. So lastly, we have Magicka Warden. This is a good class, period. Good class. That's all I have to say about it. It is a good class. They're very, very good. So basically, it's not that difficult to understand. Is they have crazy team buffs and they have access to pretty much everything in the game. So being able to just tank, heal, damage, all that is just incredible. And they can do so many different things that a lot of other classes just simply can't. So being able to tank things out, heal your teammates, do damage. I just released a Magicka Warden video that pretty much showcased that, is that I can do so many different things with so little effort. I just use a couple different skills and I can do everything. So I think that's what also makes them extremely, extremely good in this update as well, is that they're just so well-rounded. So they can do it all. They have access to major heroism, just like Stamina Warden, so they can do pretty much whatever they want. And yeah, it's just a great class. Overall, they do a lot of damage. They have access to Major Breach with their Deep Fissure. They have Polar Wind or Arctic Wind that also isn't as good anymore, but who cares? It's still a great skill. Like Leeching Vines, like I said, and then Northern Storm is one of the king ultimates in the game. Gives major protection. It does a bunch of damage, and it just destroys people. And it increases your max magic on top of it. So, yeah, guys, this is how I feel about all the classes in the game. So let me know what you think down below, too. Like I said, I think Sork is the king. And this is the rest. I apologize if I talk fast toward the end. I wanted to kind of just get the video done. I don't want to prolong your whole freaking life. You know, you come here to get your information and leave. So if you want, I could provide timestamps of the classes, but I don't want to spoil it. I want you guys to be surprised. So again, guys, I really appreciate all the support you give me. I really, really do. It means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, or at least just comment. what you think. If you think I'm an idiot, let me know down below. If you think I'm right, also let me know down below. If you want to tell me your opinion, let me know down below. And please, guys, keep running my channel up. And let me know what you think, guys. Thank you. And have a good one.